name is Trina Warren, and I live in the New Orleans East Briarwood neighborhood. Okay, before I got the project installed, when it rained really hard or when it was basically like a light rain sometimes, I can get flooding waters, standing waters in lots of areas throughout my backyard on all sides of the home. The water would just sit, standing water sitting for days at a time, causing problems with mosquitoes and mold and mildew sitting, and it just would sit for days without going away. I learned about WaterWise last year at the first annual Lower 9 Festival at Bush Park in the Lower 9th Ward. And I was just walking around looking at all of the vendors and all of the other offers that they had. And I ran across the table of WaterWise. And I was like, what's that? And so I kind of looked around a little bit, didn't do a whole lot of reading about it, but I did sign up. And a few, maybe weeks later, I started receiving text messages from WaterWise with different events. And so I decided to go see what it's all about. So I went to my first workshop. When I went to my first workshop, after listening to the presentation of what WaterWise is all about, I knew immediately that I was interested, and it had my buy-in just off of the first workshop. I came to the workshop because I knew they were talking about green infrastructure. And I know that we have a lot of flooding issues throughout the city of New Orleans and even some of our closer surrounding cities. And so I knew that sparked my interest to come and see what it is that WaterWise is doing and what possibly that I could do. I knew that I had water issues on my property, and I was figuring maybe it's something that you guys could help me with. And so that's what kind of sparked my interest in doing it. Prior to WaterWise, I actually dug some trenches around the perimeter of my home and installed some PVC plastic piping down there. That worked for a very short time. And then the water was still getting in and standing and creating an area for mosquitoes to just sit there. The water was getting into my sunroom, causing mold and mildew. It was always wet in there and slippery on the floor, so you could fall and slip. So that's what was going on prior to WaterWise coming, and that's what I tried to do prior to them installing what they did. It did not work though. It worked for, like I said, for a very short period of time. It did not look pretty, and it just failed. We worked with Ubuntu contractors to do the work to install the French drains. They came out and they did a consultation, kind of looked at what my issues were to figure out what actually needed to be done, what materials they would need to create and to install the project. They took measurements of the entire parameter of my home of what was necessary. At that point, it was decided upon that French drains would be the best remediation for my issue. And so they came back a few days later and they got started immediately with the work. They dug out the trenches, they dug out all of the areas around the parameter of my home. And I was lucky enough to be able to get this beautiful area of a patio in the middle of my yard, which is also made with permeable pavers. And it creates another area to soak up extra water and look good as well while doing that. I was also able to get the rain barrels, which was an extra added piece of protection for my yard. The rain barrels are beautiful. You can decorate them if you like. What they do is they collect rainwater. The rainwater can be used for purposes in your yard where you can save money on your water by using the fresh rainwater to water your grass, to water your plants. You can wash your car. You can use them for different little projects around your home. And so that's the different types of materials that I have in my yard to help prevent flooding in my yard, and also to help my neighbors, because I have water running from my yard into my neighbor's yard. So that helps alleviate that problem as well. The green infrastructure projects makes me feel very excited. It makes me want to do more. It makes me want to be an advocate for the water issues that we have here around our areas here and in different communities. When I look outside my window, it makes me very happy to see how beautiful it looks. It's doing more than one thing. It's aesthetically pleasing, and it's helping with the water issues that I have in my yard. I want to see more people get involved. And in order to do that, looks like we're going to have to create some type of community advocacy with people, starting with a facilitator and maybe getting some members to come in to discuss what do they see the future as well of the community that we live in, put our heads together and see what we can do together to figure out how we can work on this as a team. Maybe I also thought of, we have a lot of festivals here in New Orleans, in the surrounding areas. Maybe WaterWise can advertise at those festivals and pass out information to get people give more awareness to the issues that we have, and letting people know that they can be involved in helping with those issues, starting right with on your property, which would help with the flooding, because the pumps can only do so much, and we as a community can help with those issues by remediating some issues that we have directly right here on our properties. So I would like to be able to maybe help start something like that.